Welcome to the Resilient AF podcast. I'm Alex Fresh.
I'm Emelia Jackson.
And I'm Bennett Knows. We believe everything vibrates at a certain frequency, and we're here to raise the vibration.
You'll hear stories of incredible resilience, manifestation, and what to do when you find that even resilience has a toll.
'Cause a bitch is tired, honey.
Good morning.
Morning.
Why am I so excited right now?
I don't know. It's like you're on crack.
No, girl.
You're just high on life.
Always.
I love
because
that.
I have the life force energy flowing through me.
I love that for you.
That's Reiki.
I need that right now. Can you like penetrate me with it?
Oh, I will certainly penetrate you.
Oh, gosh. What kind of cards are those?
Oh, these are tarot cards. I just pulled death.
Oh, God. Oh,
back, put it back.
Put it back. Yeah.
It doesn't mean an actual death. It's usually like somebody in your life who needs to go.
Oh, really?
Or like a job or something significant.
Oh,
Life,
so maybe that
death,
was...
rebirth.
Right. Exactly. Maybe
Ooh.
that's my whole 2023. Imagine it pops out again. It's definitely
Then
for me.
it was for, yeah.
Here, I'll do this. I'll do it for you. Hold on.
Ooh.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know what she's doing tarot cards.
Tarot cards.
Ooh, shuffle them in the mic. That's nice.
The world.
Ooh.
Oh, I love that. It's the number 21 major arcana, and there's only 22, but 0 is in there.
Okay.
And it starts with the Fool, ends with the World. The World is very good.
Ooh.
That means like completion, and you have the world right at your fingertips.
Wow. So
All
maybe...
the elements, you got it going on in your favor.
Hey,
Oh.
Hey, hey.
Okay, Emelia, you're up.
Oh, good.
And then I'm going to do one for y'all.
Ooh.
Squared.
What does Emelia need to know?
Don't be scarred, girl.
The Magician.
Ah.
Ultimate manifestation. This is another major arcana. It's number 1. So the Fool is 0, and then the Magician is number 1. Love it. It's just manifestation and power.
Yes.
Good job.
Oh.
And it's a magician with that magic stick, that penetration you were looking
The
for.
penetration I was looking for. I
got
love
the
that.
Magic stick. Okay, so now I'm doing a card draw for y'all. What do you need to know?
For you, the listener.
Are you serious right now? It's
What
the
did you
High
pull?
Priestess. It's the number 2 major arcana.
That's crazy.
Yes.
You got 21 from me.
Can you do something for me?
Hey, and then you got
I got one.
And then
2.
2 for...
Ah! 2 on 1
2
2.
in one.
Oh my
It's a weird
goodness.
number.
Oh my God.
And there's only 22 major arcanas, and this is number 2. And it's intuition and mystery. It could mean several different things, but in general, it means that you need to trust your intuition, use your intuition, and maybe just keep an eye out, because the High Priestess always represents maybe secrets.
Ooh.
Somebody's keeping a secret or from you, or you're keeping a secret from someone else. So just, keep your eye open. And if it's you, shame on you.
Secrets don't make friends.
That's what I was just going to say. Thank you. So I'm going to do it for myself right now.
Hell yeah, do it.
Yo, I just pulled the star for me. So
Ooh.
number 17 major arcana, and it represents hope and spirituality and a new day after a storm. So I
It's
like
a new
that deck a
dawn.
lot.
It's a new day.
Hope you enjoyed that one card tarot draw. I think I'm gonna do that every single week.
Yeah, why
I
not?
Like that. Why
Just
not?
do it.
All right, moving right along. Bennett, we're gonna start with you for peak and pit, like we always do.
Peak and pits. My peak, like I said last week, it was my birthday. I'm 31 on my birthday. I had a little dinner. It was really chill, nothing too crazy. And, I'm just blessed to have another year, 31.
3 plus 1
I
is 4, in case you didn't know.
Ooh, I do know that, but I don't know what it means.
It doesn't mean anything. I just
Okay. But yeah, 31, blessed to have another year, and I officially feel old now. You know how you wait until you're 13,
Yeah.
and then you wait until you're 16, and then 21, and
Yeah.
then dirty 30, and then
and then you're over the hill.
that's it.
Isn't it 50s next? It's 50s
That's
next.
a long
40.
time from here. 40? Yeah.
40's over
Is
the
it
hill.
40? Okay.
31, it's like, it doesn't really have the spice that all the other ones have. You got to wait another 9 years to hit 40. So that's that. And my pit is that my fun employment is over.
Ah, hell no.
Oh, what do you mean? What does that mean?
My unemployment payments since I got laid off, they're done.
What do you
So
mean?
why don't you...
What do you call it? It hasn't been that long. Why are they
It
up?
hasn't. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how unemployment works.
Well, I don't either, but I feel like you get it longer than you've gotten it.
Listen, guys, I've been looking for a job. I haven't found the right one yet. But as soon as one door closes, as soon as the fun employment door closes,
The
The
employment.
employment job opens. Okay, the employment door opens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But I am looking for a job, so holla at me.
Okay, so my peak this week is I got to see my sister. She came from where she lives and flew over here. I picked her up and we went on like a whole bunch of adventures. She's making African food right now for us. So I am
Yes.
so stoked
I'm
to go
coming
home.
with you after this.
Hell yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, no, dead ass. I'm so serious.
What kind
We
of
can.
food?
I
it
don't
is?
know what type of
I-
food, but I know it's African food, and I know I'm getting fufu tonight. And
I'm
so
West
fucking
African,
excited.
and my dad made fufu all the
I
time.
think
so.
it was West African food. I
That
think
sounds
it is.
fucking bomb.
My pit for this week was honestly, it's nothing that serious. Like I really don't have any like.
Look at you not being
crazy-
prepared again.
No,
You are not allowed.
I have a pit, but like it's so first world problems.
Okay,
like
what
it's
is
so
it?
fucking embarrassing. Like I went yesterday to go get my hair braided.
Her hair is not braiding right now, by the way.
I know it got fully braided. It did. It got fully braided. I took it out last night.
Why?
Because it just wasn't braided the way it should have been. But
Oh, hell
I
no.
think
Did
the
you go to an
universe.
African hair braider?
No, I didn't. I went
That's the
to. Well,
problem.
no. She knew what she was doing. It's just she was having a lot of personal issues, and she was on the phone dealing with those personal
Well,
issues.
you know, African hair braiders can do that and braid really good at the same time.
They probably could. Honestly, they probably could. But you know what? My sister and I spoke about it, and we are like, I think that the universe sent us to her because she needed a really good tipper. She only charged $40. I gave her a hundo. But also
What do they
she
look
needed
like? I wanna know
someone
what-
to talk to.
Oh.
It was fine. It was a braid down for a weave, but the thing is she braided like my hair back too much, so I looked bald.
Stop.
And it just wasn't what I had wanted. But again, like if she wasn't so distracted, she would have got that done like
Yeah.
within an hour and a half. Like it was fine.
That was a lot longer than I
Right.
thought.
Yeah.
That's why you don't mix personal business.
Yeah, it was very
Right?
personal. Like I know everything
Yes,
about her.
that is
now.
so unprofessional.
You know what though? I'm gonna give her a break because she was going through it. So it was just, you know, it was a little bit of a pit, but like it's really not that serious.
Yeah,
but that's all I can think of.
It's just the braids we're
Yeah.
worried
Wait till
about.
next week. Maybe something will pop up.
Okay, so my pit, I've been doing Reiki a lot, and Reiki is very healing. It's like a very loving, sensual thing. And what? You guys are tripping right now. What?
You said sensual. That means
know.
like
I'm-
sexy.
Well, I'm
Sexy
actually a
girl.
sexual healer. I don't have to be that when I do Reiki, and I normally
Wait,
I won't.
You could heal my vagina.
Girl,
A sex
I-
doctor.
Not that it needs it.
I mean, but what does it need to be healed from?
I don't even know.
Trauma?
Trauma.
Bad juju.
From boys?
All the nastiness I put up in there. Oh, don't put that in there.
No, we're not cutting that. That is fucking hilarious. All of it up in there.
It's already in there.
It is.
I don't know.
I forgot to edit that one out.
Sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. But anyhow, okay, so I mean, there's different ways. Like, I mean, a Reiki healer, you can just heal people, you can just cleanse their chakras as a normal healing practice. I feel like lately I've been thinking about love a lot because Reiki is very loving and healing. And now I just feel like those people who say, I feel like I'm never going to find anybody. I'm like, I feel like that because I have such high standards now.
Yeah.
And like, it's not like I didn't before, but it's different now. It's going to be really hard for me to give somebody my true 100% loving self and be open to that anytime soon. So it's like, even if I met someone who could possibly be that, I'm just shut off. And that's sad for me.
Maybe someone will come along and
It's when you least expect
That's
it.
who I
and-
thought my last one was. 'Cause
Right.
I thought we'd be together forever.
someone that won't like trigger anything.
Or be a narcissist.
It's hard. You know, it's hard when you're moving forward from past relationships,
Yeah.
especially when things happened. But I feel like moving forward, you're just setting yourself up for a better lover, someone who's going to know how to love you. And you also will be able to take your past situations and be
Totally.
like, this isn't what I want. This
Yes.
is what I want.
Yep.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a green flag.
Yes,
That's a green
very
flag.
much so.
You know, and
Yep.
somebody will come across and you'll be like, damn.
And I think too with you, something that my therapist told me a long time ago is she asked me, do you love yourself? And I was like, well, when you don't love yourself, anybody can come in and they can love you at 30% or 35% or even 50%. And you're going to think that's a huge amount because you love yourself at 1%, 0%, whatever. So to you, that 50% that's not even passing when it comes to grades is going to be so much to you. But when you fully love yourself, you're going to recognize if someone's only giving you 50% or even like 75%, because that's not enough, you know? So I feel like because you love yourself so much and you know what you want, you know what you need, you're going to be able to find a partner that is going to love you at the capacity that you deserve because you know what you deserve, you know?
Yeah, because when I do finally give somebody the opportunity, I feel like, damn, that's going to be so long from now. But who knows, right? Anyway, my peak is, this is insane because the last few weeks, my peak has been about manifesting Queen, really, our friendship. And I just can't even believe that like this manifesting is like actually unfolding right in front of my eyes this quickly. Queen announced that she's coming to Seattle. Got sold out in a minute.
That's crazy.
So I was going to purchase 12 tickets because I want my friends to come.
Yeah.
Are we your friends?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Cool.
I bought 2 VIP tickets though.
Hey.
And the person that I'm bringing with me to the VIP is going to be this girl, Allie, who I met.
I was gonna have us hold hands like on The Bachelor, like and the person I'm gonna bring to VIP is. Good luck, baby.
Neither one of us, bitch.
We both lost.
Where's the goddamn camera when you need
Get a
one?
rose.
Y'all, if you saw it in my eyes when I saw you'd be rolling. Like they both took each other's hand like, who's she gonna say? And then I said it too quickly. I said Allie. And they both just got like so sad.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Okay, so then, no. The person that I asked was Allie, and I met her at Queen Herbie in New York. She came up behind me in line. She was by herself. She was going to come with her boyfriend, but he died recently.
Oh, she was grieving at the show.
She was like talking about him a lot, and it was just like the saddest thing. You could tell that she was grieving a lot, and she's been a fan of Queen for a long time. Her and I were vibing the whole night. Like, we clicked, and we've been talking a lot since I got back. That was weeks and weeks ago. So then I texted her. I'm like, hey, girl, I got 2 VIP tickets to Queen. Do you want to meet her with me? And
She deserves it more than us.
She does.
Yeah.
So she said yeah, so she's coming. I'm so excited for that. But what I am not excited about is that the other general admission tickets got sold out. Like, I only got the 2 VIP. I can't, you guys, it said that I got the tickets too. And then it was like, don't refresh this page. It was like time. Like, it was like refreshing.
Yeah.
It's like, don't click back, don't do any of this. So I'm like letting it just do its thing. And then all of a sudden it was like sold out. I'm like, fuck you. But you guys can still go because in New York it was sold out. But there was people last minute who sold their tickets because they couldn't go.
Okay, yep.
Oh, so we
have to
get,
just scalp
like-
them. We
We
need to
will.
find tickets. So I'm meeting her in January.
I love that.
So
Ooh.
if y'all don't believe that manifestation is real, I hope you do now. It is that time of the week for another resilience story. And this week, our guest, his name is Ben Robinson. Welcome. Thanks for being here, Ben.
Hello?
And Ben is going to talk to us about his addiction with.
Ritalin and cocaine.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I'll just hand the mic
Combo.
over to you and let you tell us your story.
Yeah.
You know, my addiction it starts with mental illness since as long as I can remember. Since I was born, I've always had this very anxious, nervous energy that as I grew older, because of my frustration with this anxiety and how to deal with it and like how to get relief, right? Turned to depression. Once you get to a certain age, you're out on your own. So it's like you live with your parents and you talk to your parents about it and you're like, hey, I'm struggling, you know, and they don't really know what to do, especially back. I mean, I say back in the day, I'm 43, so it was a while ago. There just wasn't many resources back then. And it was like you'd bring it up to your parents and they're like, they didn't know what to do with it. And talking to your friends about it was like an absolute no.
Right.
Yeah.
You did not want to bring it up because then it was like a sign of weakness.
Yep.
I guess for me, it kind of started when I got out on my own. And so I went to a place called Mount Hood Community College, which had this phenomenal
Mount Hood.
yeah. So it was like they had this phenomenal jazz program, and it was a vocal jazz program. So there was the rhythm section, which was me. We had a bass player, and there was a piano player. So there's 3 of us, but we supported a choir, which was, I can't remember, I think it was like 12 people. Okay, so this was like a dream come true for me.
Yeah.
You know, just fantastic.
Yeah.
But still, I was unfulfilled. You know, I was like, I still had this thing that I thought as I grew up, I figured, you know, get out on my own, it's going to go away. I'll become an adult and things are going to be great and fantastic. That's kind of when it started for me. And, you know, I just started looking for ways to escape. And the music thing was fantastic. But what comes along with that is a lot of drug use. And in this group, they were very into psychedelics. You know, I drank in high school and smoked some pot.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
But that was as far
who
as you
hasn't,
went.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, So then I learn about psychedelics, and it's like, oh, well, this is great. I'm going to take these and it'll open up my mind, and I'll learn how to chill out, and I'll learn how to become an adult. And that was the way my brain worked. And it still works that way. Looking for an escape from reality to deal with reality. The music thing was going really well. And yes, I was using psychedelics, but we were using it also as like a vehicle to like inspire our creativity.
Okay, that
So-
was your excuse type of thing.
Totally.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, so then you could take these drugs and like you can stay up all night and play. And I stuck with that program for a year. There was a lot of pressure from my friends that I had grown up with, because a lot of them went to the University of Oregon, which is a big party school. They've got football, they've got fraternities, they've got parties, they've got girls, they've got all these things. And I'm in this little podunk town of Gresham, Oregon. And I'm thinking, man, the music's fun, but I'm missing out on everything. Like, I'm missing out on all the girls and the football and all this stuff. So I ended up quitting after the first year and went to the University of Oregon.
You quit the music? Did you quit the psychedelics that went along with it?
The psychedelics did not come along, but the music did.
Okay.
So my intention was to go and try to get picked up by the jazz band at the University of Oregon.
Okay.
However, the competition there was much stiffer, and it was also a different environment. I didn't fit in at all. And so I tried, and it didn't work, And
Was
so,
it like a culture shock for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was a culture shock. And it made the depression and anxiety that I was already feeling multiplied
Yeah.
by about 10
I'm
million
sure.
times.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
That's where it really ramped up. When I was at the University of Oregon, Ritalin and Adderall flowed like, everybody had it. Everybody had it.
So is Ritalin like Adderall?
It's basically the exact same thing.
Okay.
It's
I
just
think-
like the knockoff version. It's like Target versus Walmart. Same thing, just different brands type of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, at least to me.
The only difference I've noticed, because I've taken both a ton, is that Ritalin's more fast acting. It's basically like cocaine.
So I feel like now a lot of people take Adderall. I don't hear people taking Ritalin.
It's not a choice, it's prescribed that way because Adderall is it's time released, whereas Ritalin, it's just fast acting and it was instant. So anyways, that was my sophomore year, and that's when I first got introduced to these drugs. And the first time I touched them, I loved them. I was like, this is it. This is what I need, because it killed my anxiety, killed my depression. I could stay up for days. Didn't have to worry about getting my homework done because I could always get it done.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like, okay, now I've found like the solution to life. But as anybody will tell you that's had a drug addiction, that's kind of the way it goes. It starts so fantastic. It's like the best thing in the world. But then as it progresses, it becomes your own living hell. The regulations were much looser back then. So if you could basically go on campus and talk to a campus doctor and say, hey man, I'm having trouble focusing. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we can give you Ritalin. Like, great. That's one doctor. Then you go down the street. You go see another doctor.
It's not like
That's
that now.
wild.
Yeah, when I was on campus, you could just go and get codeine
That's
for scissor. So everyone was just
crazy.
doing the same thing. Oh, I'm sick.
Yeah.
And they would give them codeine.
Yeah, that's how it was with Ritalin and Adderall. Adderall wasn't as big back then. It was Ritalin.
Okay.
Ritalin kind of came on the scene first, and then Adderall. But that's how we would do it. We would doctor shop. So we would just go from doctor to doctor to doctor, and we'd get all these scripts, right? And then you would take them to different pharmacies. So you'd fill it at one, and then you'd go to a different pharmacy and you'd fill another one. Because the pharmacies weren't talking to each other either at the time. So you would just get this mountain of pills and you would have them all the time. That's how it started, and it escalated. For me, it was a lifeline. This was like, I thought it was perfectly acceptable because in my brain, it was like, oh, well, this is prescribed to people. It can't be that big a deal that I'm taking more than I'm supposed to.
Yep.
Then you start drinking a lot because you're hyped up all the time. And so then it's like, okay, well, now I got to bring myself down. So then you start drinking booze to bring yourself down. So you're constantly in this cycle where you're taking uppers and downers. It's the most dangerous thing a person can do. And I did it for years. for years, man.
So
And
what did the effect of the Ritalin and the alcohol do to your body that you saw over the years?
okay, at the time, it didn't do anything, but over the years, it devastated my body. I was a big guy. I mean, I was like 210 pounds. I was bloated, and I had to be high all the time. Otherwise, I couldn't function.
Right.
And so it became this terrible experience where I was hiding it all the time. I wasn't doing it with anybody anymore. It got to a point where I was just doing it alone. This is like, I need it in the morning, I need it at night, I need it all the time just to be baseline. And with that came the cocaine. The cocaine got introduced when I was in college. It was everywhere. And it's like, oh, well, this is even better, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's even better, but it's harder to get and it's more expensive. So it was like, okay, well, I'll do this when I have it. But as long as I got my Ritalin, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So that was where I got introduced to it, and I got hooked on it right away. To make things worse for myself, when I became a senior, I met a woman. We fell in love, and I was absolutely enamored with this lady because guess what?
She did it too.
She did it too.
Okay.
She did it too, and she was prescribed Ritalin. And so not only was
So
she
that was the
beautiful,
sexiest thing.
yeah, she was beautiful, she was funny, and she loved to party.
Okay.
Yeah, she got down too.
Yep.
So
Match made in heaven.
Yep.
yeah, and that was my senior year in college. And honestly, up until that point, I was a model student as far as it went on paper.
Okay.
My grades were fantastic because I was wired all the time. So it
Yeah.
was just like if
Fucking genius.
I was a genius, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't remember a damn thing after the tests.
Yeah.
But it was like I could cram the night before all night and it didn't matter. And I
Okay.
would know everything and I could get that done and then move on. And I mean, honestly, I didn't learn anything. I majored in economics and there's very little that I got out of that degree.
Yeah.
They do-
Another reason why they are not relevant.
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
I'm unemployed. So. Okay.
So anyway, so I get out of college. I marry this woman that I was telling you about. We get married.
Okay.
I move here to Seattle to be with her. Once I got here, it was about an 8-year relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And the relationship, it really did center around our drug use. This is where things got really bad for me. But there was a shift in the way that the pharmaceutical companies and doctors, they caught on to what we were all doing.
Okay. They got
Yeah.
stricter.
Yeah.
Because you can't get your prescription one day early.
No.
No.
You can't.
And you can't get it twice. And all the pharmacies talk to each other.
The healthcare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got hip to what we were doing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that supply of it's gone.
Yep.
It gets cut off for me. And I had it for years. So it was all through college. And then after college, me and my ex-wife were doing it. She was prescribed it. I wasn't anymore, but she was. And we were working the system the same way. And she would go out and do it because she knew that I liked it and we were doing it together. But they get hip to it. And so then it's like, okay, well, now she's only got her prescription. I can't touch it because she needs it because she has ADHD and it's actually something she's supposed to be taking.
Yeah.
So it was just like a hard stop. It was
And that was
gone.
probably causing more anxiety for you.
It freaked me out.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I totally was like, I gotta take this. So I was constantly asking her for some. That started to put a strain on our relationship. And so then I'm thinking like, okay, how can I get out of this? Then I remember cocaine worked. And I was working at the time for my ex-wife's father. He owned a distribution company. You know, you could just walk onto the floor and you could find plenty of people out there that sold drugs.
Oh. So it was easy to get.
It was easy to get.
Yep.
And so then I realized I can just do this and that'll keep me straight and I can live my life and I can still be the same Ben that I have been for, the past 8 years.
Yeah.
And
that I
it'll
was
take
hooked
the
on that.
strain off of your marriage from constantly asking her. Things will get better. It'll
Yeah.
be fine.
So everything will be fine.
Yep.
And I'll just use this, even though it's really, really expensive
And really bad.
and
Yeah.
really bad.
You gotta keep on going. Keep
Yeah.
on going.
and
Yeah.
you gotta
keep
do
on going.
and you gotta do it all the time.
Keep
Yeah.
bumping.
So then I get hooked on cocaine. And that's when things just everything just kind of went out of
Wait, did
control.
you tell your ex-wife when you were hooked on cocaine?
Oh yeah, she was totally on board with it because she's like, oh yeah, I'll do
a line too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
shit.
take some deal.
Oh my God.
You guys both were partying. So.
Yeah.
That was the basis of our relationship. Okay,
Yeah.
and it lasted as long as it did, and it was. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, it was a great 6 years. The last 2 were awful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it was like it was
Yeah.
fun as long as. Well, what happened was so she wanted to kind of take it to the next level.
What's the next level?
So she decided she wasn't going to work anymore.
Okay.
And initially I was like, okay, that's going to be fine because I'm working for your dad and he's kind of grooming me to kind of, work into the family business, right?
Yeah.
And the guy was paying me just way more than I should be paid. And he was doing it intentionally because he wanted to support his daughter.
Of course. Yeah.
So he was doing it kind of, through me because I was working for him. And so that way he could just pass the company funds through me, which basically went to his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So that all worked out for a while until the last 2 years, several weeks where she would just be gone. She would just disappear.
And go where?
And just, I don't know. She would just go out and be with whoever.
Really?
And, I have no idea what she was doing, honestly, and I don't want to know, and I don't care. All I know is that it was miserable, and I hated it, and we fought constantly. And it was just 2 years of this crap where it was just like, I can't deal with this anymore. But while she was gone, what am I doing? I'm just isolating and doing more and more and more drugs. And it was that constant up and down thing, too. It was like, I'm doing the cocaine, and then all of a sudden my wife's not coming home, so now I'm going to do some more to numb myself. And then it's like, okay, now I got to get to bed because I got to go to work, so then I'm drinking to put myself to sleep.
Okay.
So it's just up and down,
Yeah.
up and down. That was when things got really bad. And then when she left, it just became total isolation for me because it was devastating. I didn't see myself as that type of guy that was going to ever get divorced, for better or for worse, right? And it didn't. That was really devastating for me.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I'm hooked on these drugs. And that's when it kind of dawned on me. I was in trouble and I didn't know where to turn. Not only was I using the drugs, but I was isolating. So it was just like my life was this. I would get up, I would go to work, and I would come home and start using drugs and drinking immediately till I passed out. Then I'd get up and I'd do it again. I'd get up and I'd do it again. And I did that for like 12 years.
It was like a cycle
12
of abuse to
years?
yourself. Yeah.
12 years. My life was a mess. I mean, I had zero friends.
Oh, you. Okay.
I had no social life. Zero. Nothing.
Going to work was your social
That
life
was
at that point.
It.
Okay.
And even that became strained because I became less effective as a manager. I was a manager of this business.
Yeah.
So when you were working there and you would start to have withdrawals after a couple of hours, would you start to take it to work or you never did?
No, I never did.
Okay.
wow.
So I
just
would
try to get through it and
exactly.
How though?
Yikes.
How do you push through that? Because I have a stomach ache at work and I'm like, fuck this, I'm going home. I'm canceling my whole day. I can't even imagine having the sweats, the shakes, migraine. You probably got migraines or headaches or whatever. I don't know, but
All of that.
oh
Yeah.
Lord, no.
You know what made it even worse is the anxiety that I feel now was amplified by about 12 billion. And I'm sitting here at work and I just remember my phone would ring and I wouldn't answer it. People would email me and I wouldn't answer, until shit would really hit the fan. Then I would really,
Then you'd have to play catch up.
then I would have to play catch
Yeah.
up and make sure things were, or if the boss was really hammering me about something, I would get it done.
And did you feel more anxiety as well because you had the pressure of that's your wife's dad and you needed to keep up and not disappoint him?
Yeah.
Too?
So this is another part of my story that's really kind of fucked up is that I worked for this guy for 10 years after
Oh,
we
wow.
broke up. So my boss had been hounding me for years. He saw me every day and he's just like, look, this has got to come to an end at some point, right? He was 100% convinced that I could do it on my own. He's like, Ben, you can do it. You just need to stop. Stop using the drugs, stop drinking, and you can do it. It's not that hard. That was his mentality.
Like, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
That was perfect. Thank you. I'll definitely
I'll
do
try
that
that.
right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As you're shaking uncontrollably. Okay, yeah.
He didn't know. He didn't
Yeah.
know any better.
Yeah.
He hadn't been
Was he
through.
older too?
Yeah, he's an older guy.
Okay, so he didn't know. He
Yeah.
doesn't. Okay,
You know,
we'll give him a break.
he didn't. You know, he hadn't been addicted to anything before.
Exactly. He had no idea.
Yeah.
How it was.
But my father was persistent. You know, every holiday I would go home and it was the same thing year after year. It's like, oh God, here comes Bennett. And it got to a point where it was like they didn't really want me around.
Oh.
Damn.
Because I was just out of control all the time. Because that was the only way I could handle being around people, is that I would just have to get completely trashed. Because then I felt like, okay, now I'm normal. But what I didn't see is that I was being a complete asshole to my family and to everybody. And so that, after hearing that enough times and looking in the mirror and shaking and just like feeling awful, I called my dad, because he told me, if you want to go to rehab, like, I'll pay for it. He's like, and there's one just right down the street from where he lives.
Yeah.
He's like, you can come here. And my boss told me a bunch of times, he's like, Ben, if you need time off from work, take it. I don't care. You can come back. Your job will be waiting for you. I just remember I called my dad and I said, Dad, I think I'm going to die. I'm ready to take you up on that rehab thing. So I did. And I told my boss, I was like, I'm going to be out for a while. It's going to be a 4-week program. And I told him exactly what I was going to be doing. And I kind of came clean about all the drugs I was using. And he said, all right, you know, we'll keep your job here. He actually paid me while I was still, while I was in rehab.
What the heck?
So I still had my money, and my dad paid for the rehab. And so I went to this place right outside of Salem, Oregon. I don't know if you've ever heard of these places. I'm going to be completely honest. It's like a 5-star hotel where you are pampered. I mean, this place was like, I was in the middle of the woods in this beautiful cabin. We had cooks that would cook for us 3 meals a day, but did spend a lot of time in therapy. I mean, that's what it was. It was group therapy. So you would wake up and there was group therapy, and then you would eat, and then there was group therapy, and then you would eat again, and then there was more group therapy, and you go to exercise, group therapy. And you do that for 3 weeks straight. But there, it was like, it was easy because you're pampered. It was like super comfortable. It was like a vacation. It was like I'm away from work. None of the stuff that was bugging me was there. And I had all these
paid too while you're there still.
I was still getting paid. I had all these counselors that could talk me off a ledge if I felt like I was going to completely freak out, because I went through withdrawals. I will tell you this. One of the things that you have to do before you can get into rehab is you have to detox. So, I mean, not everybody does, but I had to because I'd been using for so long. So the detox process takes about a week, and it's one of the worst, awful experiences I've ever been through. I mean, you basically you're just in a room, and you've got these doctors that kind of they check on you to make sure you're not dead.
Dying. Yeah.
And that's how bad it was for me. And so
when you got out of it, then did you ever relapse?
yeah, so this is why I think it's a sham. So when my dad picked me up 4 weeks later, I remember he looked at me and he started crying. He's like, I haven't seen you this healthy in years, because it was like all of a sudden my eyes were clear, and it was like the bloating went away and all this stuff. And he drove me all the way back to Seattle from Salem, Oregon. So it's like a good 4 or 5 hour drive. And we talked the whole time, and it was just great rainbows and sunshine. He drops me off in my apartment. Within 2 days, I'm back at it.
Oh, damn. Oh, no.
Well, it's because they kind of left you out to the wolves afterwards.
It was a huge mistake the way that
That was set up.
That it was set up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, how
really-
are you supposed to be successful with that kind of
After a few
situation?
weeks of pampering and, you know, being kind of isolated from society and taken care of, and then they're like, all right, go.
There was no therapy set up or any follow up. They just kind of let you go.
So then you relapsed. Then when did you get sober again?
So I relapsed, and then within 2 months, everybody knew that I was
Back
messed
on
up
it.
again. Yeah. And so I started looking for other solutions. And I told my dad too. I was like, Dad, I mean, he knew I was back on drugs. And so I'm talking to him. I'm like, Dad, I got to find another solution. That didn't work. So what I did is I started looking around Seattle for recovery communities.
Yeah.
And just looking online and just seeing what I could find. And I found this great place in West Seattle, and it's a sober house. And what they did there is you check in, and it was right on Alki Beach. I mean, we're talking like, this place was great. They called it the Beach House. They still call it that. And the guy that runs it, his name's Matt Gold. He is a recovering addict, as most people are in the recovery community. They've all been through it, right? I got in contact with this guy and I said, hey, I told him my whole story and that I'd been through rehab and I relapsed and I'm messed up again and I need to get out of this. I need to get out of this cycle. Like, what can I do to get into this sober living community? And he basically told me, he's like, look, man, what you got to do, you got to come and see me when you're sober. And I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. I went and saw him multiple times and he called me out every time. And he just basically said, like, look, until you can come see me sober, I can't let you stay here. And so I called my dad and I said, look, I think I got a plan, but I got to get sober. I got to be sober for like a week. Can I just come stay with you? Don't let me out of your house. Whatever you do. So he came, picked me up, took me to his house in Salem and literally did that. Basically just locked me in there and we didn't go anywhere. We didn't do anything. I just sat there and was miserable for a week. And then we went straight from there to the place. Matt was there and I told him, I was like, I've been sober for a week, and he drug tested me just to make sure. And I got into the place and that was what saved me. I ended up living there for a year. The experience was just fantastic for me because it allowed me to keep my job. I could still go to work. I could come and go. But what they did was every time you left the house, you would get drug tested before you came back in.
Okay.
So they didn't play any games. So if you failed a drug test, then that was it. You were kicked out of the house. So prior to me moving in there, me and my father went to my old apartment, the one that I'd relapsed in and where all the bad memories were. I went there and we took everything out of that apartment and we threw it into a dumpster. I mean, I literally burned all of it. Just got rid of everything. And I got rid of the apartment. So I had nowhere to go. So it was like, it's either I get this right or I'm living on the street. And I did that intentionally to force the situation.
Yeah, because you're resilient. You would rather do that than live on the streets.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, this is my only option now. I have to be sober or I'm going to be that, homeless guy that's walking around hooked on drugs.
Yeah.
So you made it a year and then you moved out. Did you get like a new house or what did you do after that?
So after the year, I moved. I stayed in the exact same area. So I rented an apartment on Alki Beach, maybe 5 blocks away from this house I'd been living in. I'd made friends there. So
That was your safe zone.
that was my safe zone. So I stayed there.
Yeah.
For a while and was able to continue we would go to AA meetings together every day. We would oftentimes have AA meetings like just as ourselves, like we would just hang out and just go over they call it the big book, which is a book that's all about recovery and
It's like your
amazing
Bible.
meetings, by the way.
yeah, it's like the Bible for recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've gone to Al-Anon meetings and just having the resources and going to meetings like that is so helpful.
Yeah.
If anybody's struggling, find an AA or Al-Anon meeting. You will love it.
And they're everywhere.
All the time. Multiple times a day.
Multiple times. It doesn't matter where you are in the country.
They have an app. You can hop on calls at any time pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. So I used to have the app and I would just jump on the thing because I needed to be in these AA meetings because that was the only way I was going to make it is I had to continue this thing, consistency.
Yeah.
So that was about 3 years of my life. It was 1 year at the sober house. And then once I left, I moved into the apartment on Alki, and that was 2 years that I stayed close to that group there. Then I discovered running. Running saved my life. And it's the reason that I am
Like jogging?
yes.
Oh, okay. I'm like, running, is that a program?
No,
Is that
no.
like coach
I'm
or
just
something?
talking about putting on running shoes and going out the front door.
Yeah.
And that for some reason, it just took me this long to figure it out that is my salvation
So you still run today?
every day.
Nice. How far do you run a day?
Well, so I was running between 13 to 16 miles a day.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's
So
a half marathon.
Put
yeah,
him on the track.
I was doing that. I was doing it every day.
I can't even. Okay, I feel real bad about myself right now.
That's why he's a runner. He's a track star. That's crazy.
Wow.
And it was because the endorphins, man.
Right,
It
right.
replaced all that stuff. And it,
Yeah, because
yeah.
you were doing. I mean, goddamn, you were doing 2 grams a day. So this is like that high for you instead.
Yeah,
in a
so-
healthy way.
in a healthy way. And I got addicted to it. And I just went balls to the wall. I did that for a good 4 years. You know, I started off slow. It wasn't like I hit 13 to 16
Right.
a day right away, but
Yeah, you trained
but
for
I
it.
ramped up pretty quick, man. I mean, and I was up there, running trails and just running anywhere, man. I just love it. And I still do to this day.
That's crazy.
The only setback I had was I overdid it to the point where I tore labrums.
Yikes.
Yeah, very,
Owie.
very painful.
Have you
Yeah.
ever had
Plantar fasciitis?
Yes. Yes.
No, I never got plantar fasciitis.
I used to run a lot and I used to get it a lot.
Wait, what is that?
It just is it's pain on the bottom of your foot.
Yeah.
No, that's why I don't run. It sounds like a fucking nightmare, to be honest. But I love that for you. I'm glad you love that.
But anyways, it was another addiction, right? I replaced one addiction with another.
Yeah.
Even though this was a healthy one,
Right.
I did it to the point where I destroyed my body.
Oh, yeah.
And so I ended up
Yeah.
having to have surgery on my right hip, and my left one's okay now because of strength training, but I can't run like I used to. I can still run. I still run probably about 4 miles a
Yeah.
day.
But maybe that's what you needed in that time, though, to get off of that
And to get
previous addiction.
100%.
Yeah. Yep.
100%. And you know, it's just that the running and just exercise in general. I mean, I can say this to anybody out there listening. If you're struggling with mental, anxiety or depression, that's the answer.
Exercise.
Is exercise.
One of our previous guests who
Said
had
this-
an addiction said the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you've heard it here twice now. At the gym, if you're feeling down at all, it'll help. It for sure will. Drink more water, eat right food,
Yeah.
exercise. It is actually like a crazy that you picked running because it's intense. Like it's hard. A lot of people, don't like to run. It's hard. It's like hard on your body, and then you just went full balls to the wall.
It is very hard on your body. So, like, I went balls to the wall, and that's why I have a bunch of problems right now. But if you're
not drug
smart
problems.
about it, not drug problems.
Yeah.
If you're smart about it, you can do it much longer than I was able to. I
Yeah.
can still run. I don't have a chance of running a marathon now. It's
Right.
just not going to happen.
Yeah, you
'Cause-
can. You just gotta believe in yourself, Ben.
Well, I know. I'm
Gotta train for it. You can
I
do
want
it.
to.
I know you could. I know
I
you
want
could.
to. Well, I appreciate that because that's
Yeah.
if
You'd
that
be surprised.
happened, I would be
Start doing
ecstatic.
Start doing Bikram yoga 3 to 5 days a week, and you'll be there in like a year.
I've heard that. So I don't run every day now. So I switch it off. So I'll run, and then the next day I'll do just physical therapy stuff, like stuff with resistance bands and just trying to strengthen the muscles around the muscles I've destroyed. And you can do that. You can fix problems that you have just through physical therapy.
For sure.
You really
Physical
don't.
therapy is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Also Reiki. Reiki. Have you heard of Reiki?
No, I haven't.
Reiki is energy healing. So energy flows through the healer and can help injuries and emotional.
I've never heard of it.
So that helps, but hot yoga for sure would for sure strengthen it a lot.
Yeah, hot yoga has been suggested to me several times. I haven't tried it yet. I've done regular yoga.
You would love hot yoga.
I think I would. Because you sweat. So one of the things that I have to I can't feel satisfied unless I've broken a sweat.
Oh, go to Bikram.
Yeah.
You'll be sweating the second you walk in. It's 105 degrees.
Sounds like
Oh, man.
hell.
Yeah.
Sounds like hell.
Feel accomplished every single time.
Yeah.
I used to do
Or
it for a
dead.
long time, and I had a bad back. So my lumbar, when I was all growing up, because I played basketball, I would just strain my lumbar, just bending over wrong. And so I started going to Bikram yoga, and I did it for 4 years, but I haven't strained my back since I stopped going to yoga.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really strengthened it. Helped so much. Okay, Ben, so I'm going to ask you a question. Tell me what you think. What do you think resilience means? What does it mean to you?
To me, it means, getting up when things are just when you just feel like the whole weight of the world's on your shoulders and everything is coming to an end. Because I've felt that a lot. Try to find a way to get back on track. I mean, that's my resilience has been that. Even though I knew my life was spiraling out of control, I still found it upon myself to say, I needed help. I asked for help. And
believing in yourself that you would get better and that you would do it and follow through, and
yeah,
that you were serious about it.
yeah, absolutely.
and I feel like part of being resilient is passing it down, inspiring others
Yeah.
from your
I-
story,
Even if it just
Absolutely.
helps one person.
And
You
I
know?
think it will help a lot.
Yep.
I appreciate you guys giving me a platform here just to kind of speak my mind. It benefits me too.
Yeah.
just to talk about this stuff because it's like I'm talking about really dark periods of my life
Yeah.
that were really, really, really bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And you're
And-
sharing it with people who are there right now, who you
Yeah.
might actually even help
Yeah.
today talking about it.
And I hope so. That would make me really, really, really happy.
Oh, so sweet.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. So now we're moving on to the conspiracy time. And what I decided to do with this time is MK Ultra.
I don't know what that is.
Ooh.
Okay, so we touched on MK Ultra a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And we're gonna just dive right into it.
Let's
we're gonna
do
dive
it.
deep today. So MK Ultra was an illegal human experimentation program. It was undertaken by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency and intended to develop procedures and identify drugs that could be used during interrogations to weaken people and force confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. It began in 1953 and was halted in 1973. MK Ultra used numerous methods to manipulate its subjects' mental states and brain functions, such as covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, especially LSD, and other chemicals without the subject's consent. Electroshocks, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of torture. Basically, in today's terms, would be celebrities, like A-list celebrities, being controlled by MK Ultra, like Katy Perry, Cardi B, just a ton of people like that are very well known. Bennett was the one who actually told me about MK Ultra, and it is pretty freaking weird.
Yeah.
Because like these celebrities will be like in mid-sentence talking, and then all of a sudden they'll just shut off and they'll just like be staring at nothing, and they'll just not be talking. They have no reactions to anything, and then people around them who work wherever they are know about this. It looks like because they see it happen immediately and then take action to try and get the person back too. And they'll say certain things 3 times in a row, like the same sentence or the same word 3 times in a row, and then they'll come back.
Yeah, there's videos online too.
So many.
I feel like they put the celebrities, like they'll give them MK Ultra or put them under that hypnosis for like high caliber events and stuff.
So are you saying that they
like-
give them this drug before a big event, whatever?
I don't think it's a drug. I think it's like a procedure. It's like electrowaves on your brain.
Okay.
And I also think it's all the time. I think they do it to them all the time. They don't even have to be around her.
Oh, you think once they do it once, it's just forever type of thing? They can just press a button and
Something.
And I've been seeing things that have been saying like MK Ultra is television too. Like sometimes if you watch a lot of television, it's a very minor form of programming
Oh my God.
100%.
for human minds.
Yes,
You know?
actually, they made a commercial. They go behind the Hollywood sign, and there's like all these people on their computers or whatever. And he's like, "We use TV to control your little minds, whatever." And then it was saying like, subscribe to Hulu, but it also goes back to how for their karma, they're supposed to tell us these things
Right.
in order to get good karma and be successful. And so he straight up told us this, but like it looked not real because it was a commercial and they outright said it to us. So that is very true. I think that they do try and hypnotize us, or not hypnotize. What's
It's
the fucking
kind
word?
of programming,
Something.
hypnotizing.
I
Yeah.
guess vegetables, essentially.
I'm
Yeah.
going to play this video.
Y'all want to be involved so
get 'em,
bad, but
get 'em.
nobody asked me about no damn gift. What's
Get 'em,
good?
get 'em. So is there going to be a public registry? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Take the gift cards.
One,
take the gift cards.
two,
take the gift cards.
3.
Yeah, because they might put, what's that thing that was going
She's
around
back.
in the early 2000s? Man, I feel nervous, a little bit overwhelmed. I feel a little shaky. I don't know what's wrong with me.
No, but it's good. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. You're going to
It's
get
good. It's a good
You
shit.
look great.
And you're amazing.
Then she came back.
Oh.
It's good. It's good. It's good. She knew right away what happened.
Do you think that they
Yes,
all
they all
know,
know,
so they
for
know
sure.
what to say?
100%.
Okay,
It's
so then is being a celebrity even really possible? Because you have to kind of be a robot.
No,
like, how
you,
is
you
it?
either have to be in or you are out.
Hollywood's like a cult.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
And they're
how
all in a cult.
realistic is it for someone like us to get famous?
I don't think we'll ever be in Hollywood because we don't have a dark soul. We don't want evil. We don't want, like,
Yeah.
they all have to agree to a lot of heinous things.
really,
And they want to.
get to that caliber
Yes.
of being a celebrity.
I believe so, yes.
Ooh.
So, and if you don't, and if those type of celebrities ask people who are coming up and coming into,
So they're-
and they say no, then they'll be casted out and they'll be casted away.
So
gone.
they're basically puppets for our entertainment
correct.
and for people to make
We
money
think it's
off of.
entertainment, but it's
Industry-
really programming.
Industry plants.
Yeah. So we
Ooh.
think it's entertainment, but they're controlling us because they know people look up to musicians and people in Hollywood. It sets the tone for our society. So
They were also saying recently that there was the first industry plant at the Chargers game.
I seen that.
What do you mean?
It was like a video that went viral of like some lady cheering, but and it
Way
went
too
viral
much.
and all
And
of
what is the conspiracy about it though? Why would they think that she's a plant? It's weird.
maybe to get you more excited about football, to get you
It was a woman.
distracted from the things that are really going on in the world.
Yeah, because sports is a huge distraction.
Huge thing. It's
Yeah.
a huge distraction. I mean, people plan their whole fucking days around it.
100%. Evil entertainment.
Whoa.
but yeah.
Is that why Hillary Duff isn't like as famous? Because she probably didn't sell her soul.
There's a lot of people who
Even
are
though
like,
she should be fucking famous because she was like an icon back when we were
People
younger.
also could just like, nah, I'm good.
stories out there. There's like a girl from Disney who her video, she was like, y'all, I'm out of this. I'm not doing it anymore. Like Hollywood's evil. You won't see me again. And I'm out.
Ooh.
Yeah. And there's been several people who have spoken up about the elite in Hollywood and what they're doing, and they just all of a sudden are dead. Yeah. And like they'll say like, if I end up dead, just know that I'm not suicidal.
Like if you want to be in Hollywood and you want to be successful, you don't tell what's going on. You don't tell those
Yeah,
secrets.
you have to keep it a secret.
You know,
Because snitches
Kanye
get
told,
stitches.
he's gone. Tory Lanez gone.
Yep.
Stop.
Yeah.
Tory
He's in
Lanez.
jail.
He
He's in
didn't
jail
really
for 10 fucking
shoot
years.
Megan
That
in
should
the
be a
foot.
conspiracy.
Dude.
Before the Meg the Stallion thing happened,
Yeah.
and all of that happened, I seen Tory post on his page. He was like, Capitol Records, if you guys don't let me release my music or if you guys don't let me out of my contract, I'm going to tell all your secrets and everything that happened. Everybody in the comments were like, don't do it, Tory. Don't do it. Like, you're wilding. They're going to kill you.
Yeah.
Like, this was in real time. I
Yep.
seen this, my eyes, his page, people in the comments literally
Yep.
being like, don't do it. They're going to kill you. Boom. And then the whole Meg the
He's a
Stallion thing
And
happened.
and the whole Kylie Jenner, like
Kylie hasn't said anything about
okay,
it,
hold on.
but I
Let's-
seen that live too. We'll save this. We'll
Let's
save
say
it.
this. Right?
Yeah.
Some people
Okay.
might not know who these people
Yeah.
are. So
Okay.
let's wait until next week and we'll just start from the beginning with that whole thing. It's relevant as fuck.
Yeah, that's so good.
All right, cool. Well, that wraps up the conspiracy for this week.
Yay.
I hope y'all enjoyed it. What do you think about MK Ultra? Hit us up on Instagram at ResilientAF3. Let us know if you think that the government is controlling celebrities. And let's see what's on the menu for next week. Of course, we're gonna do our peek and pit,
Peek
and
and
I think
pit.
I'm gonna start with the daily tarot card draw
Every
for
week.
the week, every week.
Okay.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Then we're gonna go into. I kind of want to hear another night ballerina
Yeah.
story from
Do
Emelia.
you?
It's been a little while.
It has. And
Okay.
they're juicy and they're fucking funny. So I feel like we should do that next week.
Okay.
Then our resilient guest is going to be Holly, and she is a therapist, but you know she's going to talk about why she thinks that she's resilient. And then we're going to wrap it up with another conspiracy about, y'all already heard it, Tory Lanez and that whole thing. And if you don't know what it is, then tune in next week and you'll find out.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited for
All right,
that one.
so make sure to follow us on Instagram at ResilientAF3. You can follow all of us individually. I'm at that Dreas.
I'm at Emelia Jackson 94.
And I'm at Bennett Knows.
Have a good week.
Yes, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Yep.